Good morning or good afternoon, as the case may be. Welcome to the Coach's Playbook. Jack, our usual host, is unavailable to join us today, so I'm taking the place of Jack, and I'm John Hoagland. As always, we have Mick Aronimo and Dan Hodgman with us. We also have the Dancing Bear, John Doherty, with us. How's everybody doing today?
Great, John. How are
Doing
you?
great, John.
Good, and hopefully you're all doing well today. We thought we'd take the coach's playbook today and talk a little bit about routine in preparing for your trading day, knowing where you are as far as risk is concerned, and all that entails. So, who am I going to pick on first? Let's pick on Dan Hodgman first. Dan, how are you?
Well, let's kick it to Mick real quick for a trader shout out, and then I'll go.
Yeah, we forgot.
Shout out to John Kilduff. He's up about $3,300, $3,400 right now trading the NASDAQ today. So great job, John. Keep up the good work.
Very
That's
impressive.
Awesome. Well, I love the idea of routine. I'm a big routine guy. From everything I've done in my life, I'm also slightly superstitious. So routine for me has been very important. Going back to being a little kid playing hockey, I had to put my left skate on first, then I could put my right skate on. It was a whole process, right? And so routine in trading, I think, is extremely important because it helps kind of set your mind right when we sit down to trade. Having consistency, we talk about consistency basically in everything we do when it comes to trading. And so being consistent in your routine in the morning or whenever you're sitting down to start preparing to trade, going through the same motions. If it's eating the same exact breakfast, getting a little bit of a workout in. A lot of people like yoga. Or getting on the treadmill, going for a walk, really anything to start to calm yourself down to prepare for your trading day. I also think one of the most important parts of routine is knowing where you stand on every given day of trading. If you're trading within the trading combine, where do I have to be on my risk side? How much can I really risk today to ensure I don't break any rules? Where do I stand on that profit target? Because the last thing I'd hate to see someone do, hit that profit target, keep trading, and then give it back and have something happen. So kind of having those understandings of where you stand in all aspects of your trading is really important.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to say that, as far as routines go, you can kind of break this up into two different categories. You can have your personal routine, and then you can have your business routine. And they're both obviously very unique. Dan did a great one, yoga. It's not a bad way to start the day. Stretch out, get relaxed. It's very rejuvenating, and it's kind of a barrier, as I mentioned, clear your mind. Just something to do prior to that. I'm a big fan of yoga, a big fan of stretching. It could be also, we're all trading from computers too. I mean, get in the shower and shower. I know some people, and I've done guilty of this in the past, you roll out of bed, brush your teeth, and keep your PJs on and go sit in front of the computer. I feel like it wasn't really good preparation for, trading and speculating for the day. So always having a routine, get up early, have your coffee, have your breakfast, and be prepared. I'm sure there's a lot of business part of the routine that, the rest of us will discuss. So I don't want to take that up too much. But the one thing I'll say before I kick it over to, JD or John is your homework. And that probably is the most important part of your routine. A lot of people think that they can come in and just sit down in front of the computer during the day and start buying and selling. Sure, you could do that. Are you going to have much luck doing that over the, consistent, good results over that? I don't think so. I think it comes down to, studying the markets after they close, getting in early, looking at charts or looking at price action from the overnight session. It's all very important. And those are just a couple examples. There's a number of different ways you can do your homework. I couldn't agree more with Dan as far as knowing where you're at in your account and what you can risk. We've got a trailing max drawdown. We have weekly loss limits. What is my weekly P&L? What can I afford to risk without running into hitting a weekly loss limit or a max drawdown? Or, how much account cushion do I have left? What percentage of my account am I risking? These are all things that are extremely important to know you got to know where you're at in your accounts. So I'll kick it over to JD. I don't want to take up too much time on the topic.
Well, as usual, you nailed it, Mick. I think we've said this so many times, we should probably just get posters or t-shirts made or something like that. But it's no secret that the most successful traders are the ones that commit to it full time. They're present when the markets are active. They take the time to study and understand the rules, not just of the game, but of the map they draw for themselves. It's really not something you can just play around with once in a while and really expect to make money in the long run. As far as forming a solid base for establishing a routine, I will say this, you should never underestimate the benefits of a good old-fashioned work ethic. In one way or another, persistence does pay off in this business. If you need a little stepping stone or something, I would recommend starting with something simple, like a morning checklist. Just get to your workstation a few minutes earlier than usual, jot down 10 or 15 things that you feel are important enough to affect the market that day. Then make notes about how the market reacts as each of those events occurs. Go back at the end of the day and jot down the results in your trading journal or your trading log, along with your performance for the day. If you do this consistently for, I don't know, a couple months, maybe even just a few weeks, you will start to get a much better feel for how particular fundamental events drive price action, and you'll be that much better at anticipating future moves based on those observations. Eventually, your confidence will increase. You'll be able to customize your daily trading plan each morning to reflect your feelings for the market that day based on what you've seen in the past. Just give it a try and see for yourself. When you do your homework, like Mick said, you begin to trust yourself and your trading plan that much more. Really, the bottom line is you have to have a plan. You have to know your plan inside and out, and you have to follow your plan. And those are the simplest rules.
One quick thing to add to what you were saying, JD, in the plan. Having a plan allows you to be there watching the markets, and then it allows you to react. If you have a plan and price goes to a certain place or the market does a certain thing, you're able to just know ahead of time what action you're supposed to take when it does that, and you get to react to it instead of analyzing in the moment, what that price level means to the market. And that's a really big thing.
Yeah, and I want to show you guys, like, just for myself, every day when I sit down, I have hard cards. I have stacks of them, and I frame out each market. What am I going to look at in that specific market? What are some of the levels I'm paying attention to? What are some of the ranges that I've been keeping an eye on from a higher time frame to a lower time frame? And I can't think about any sort of execution until I have this stuff done. Otherwise, you just shooting from the hip a little bit. It helps kind of guide you. It keeps you balanced. It keeps you a little bit stable. For me, it helps keep me on track because I am ADD. I can get very sidetracked very quickly. You see the squirrel and you're ready to go. But you have to find ways to keep yourself in check.
Well, you guys did such a good job. I don't even need to be here. You guys got it all wrapped up. I love what Dan was talking about as far as superstition. My dad was on the floor for 45 years. He always went in the same door to the trading floor every day. He was very cautious to even change the shoes that he would walk on the trading floor with. He called them his dancing slippers, and they were old and they were beat up, but he demanded to wear those shoes. As far as outside business preparations, you guys mentioned, yoga or a little bit of exercise. Don't discount a little meditation. I usually start my morning just first thing when I get up. I just start a meditation. And then, as Mick said, you don't necessarily want to just jump out of bed, comb your hair with a pillow, and then go sit down. You want to be prepared. You want to take a shower. You want to feel like you're setting yourself up to be in the mindset to trade And, simply doing that can, we're working from home now, so, we don't have to dress nice but you do want to do that preparation as far as, preparing for the trading day. I think it's important, and you guys all touched on this, to have a routine with which you use. Dan, you've got the cards. I've got pieces of paper with all my thoughts and ideas on the trades that I'm going to be looking for. It's all about developing hypotheses as to what might happen, and then recognizing that when the market is falling into one of those hypotheses, or one of those hypotheses is coming true. So tomorrow's trading day starts at the end of the trading day today. JD, one of the things that you mentioned is, it is hard work to do this. You do need to have some sort of routine to the work that you put into this. I remember I went over to the Board of Trade and I bought a mid-am seat, and I went to go talk to the owner of a clearing firm that I wanted to clear my trades. And he says, why do you want to be a trader? What makes you think you're going to be a good trader? And I remember telling him, well, I don't, certain days when I just don't feel like coming in, I don't want to come in. I can just kind of come and go as I please, go in the pit, make some money, and then leave. And he basically threw me out of his office. He was so offended by that's what I thought traders did for a living. And he was yelling at me. He says, the traders that clear here are among the hardest working people you will ever know. They work very hard at being good traders, and it's something you're going to have to recognize wherever you clear your trades. So I said, okay, I apologize. We sat down, we had a reconciliation, and he let me clear my trades through him. But the routines that you put forth, you can set up a template of how you're going to do your homework, the thought process that goes into your trading day. Just print it out, type it up, print it out, put it on your desk. It's probably going to be a living document. It's going to change over time. There's going to be things that you're going to find more important that need to be on there. Maybe some things that are on there might not be as important, but it is that routine, and that routine is going to change over time. But nothing changes the fact that you have to know where you are in your risk parameters. The most important thing in trading is managing risk. If you can't manage risk, if you can't manage money, making more isn't going to help.
Yeah, we actually have a question kind of regarding that. So real quick, just want to say hello to everyone. Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel, Subconscious, Miguel, Nick, Mo, and Sarah. Good to see you guys. Mr. Shine's got a question for us. Could you explain how your account parameters and rules could affect someone's trading?
I would think that the account parameters and rules are the boundary lines that you need to operate within. They're the out of bounds, or the rules of the game. I think that's how you need to, regardless of what your strategy is, you need to live within those those boundary lines. We have good reasons for having those. Daily loss limit. You shouldn't be losing more than a certain amount of money on a day based off of how large your account would be, how much risk you can take. Just one example there.
Yeah, and just to even add to that, you think about it, I think if you look at these rules and you're struggling with them, it should be a sign, okay, we got to make some minor adjustments here. What am I doing wrong versus what am I doing right? I look at them as kind of a guideline. If you're in step 2 or you're in the funded account and you're having a hard time with the weekly loss limit, maybe that's telling you, well, you know what? I'm coming out way too strong Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I like trade better Thursday, Friday. Okay, that's a good idea. You can start to recognize, let's start a little bit slow. Let's start my week a little bit slower, get my wheels spinning a little bit before I start making too much movement. Because first off, you don't want to miss the tail end of the week because you're on the edge for that weekly loss limit. Use that weekly loss limit as kind of a guide of, okay, I like Thursday, Friday, therefore I'm going to go a little bit slower Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I can start looking for bigger opportunities. And that'll maybe help create some longevity for yourself. It'll also maybe help give yourself a better idea and help grow that account over time.
Yeah, a lot of these rules, daily loss limit, weekly loss limit, these are speed bumps to the downside. They're, when you're not performing well or not trading well, they're in place so you can slow it down and stop and live to trade another day. I mean, that's what, we preach. It's all about survival, live to trade another day. If you lose too much and you put your account in bad shape, you can't take advantage of, the many opportunities that are going to come in the sessions to come.
Absolutely. I just want to say hello to Norman as well. He said he started keeping a notebook after our advice a few weeks ago, and it's kept him focused. And he's just asking, has Powell stopped talking yet? My TV turned off because I paused it, so I'm not totally sure.
Hey, I just wanted to say to Sam, Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel, Top Step was created by traders who didn't have those boundaries. You're looking at 4 people here who didn't have those boundaries, and this whole thing was created to help you create the boundaries, the risk parameters, and the risk rules that hopefully are going to carry you to great success through your career. I mean, there have been lots of days that I wish I had a daily loss limit that I had to adhere to, and I know I speak for all 4 of us and a lot of folks here at Top Step that have experienced major losses because we just could not stop.
It's a great point, John.
Well said. Couldn't agree more.
Perfect.
All right. I think we've got our segment in here. Dan, you always have something inspirational to say at the end of this.
I do. From Jordana Brewster. I kind of like this quote, especially with trading. Trading is we don't know how every day is going to end. So I like this quote. I like having a routine because everything else is so unpredictable.
Good quote. Very ambiguous environment we're in. Having a routine can help us put a semblance of order to things, if you can even do that in futures.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a great rest of the trading day. Usually I'm the one that brings us out of this bit, but I'm going to have JD take us out. JD,
can I slow things down really quickly for 1 second?
Sure.
I really like how Dan mentioned what he frames out on his cards with his levels or whatnot for the market he's trading. Maybe if we can get that's something that I used to do as well. It was a huge help to me. Goes back to me mentioning, knowing what to do when the market gets to a certain place and being able to react instead of spending your time in this fast-paced environment, analyzing stuff, do the analysis before, react when it happens. I guess if, I'd love to do a coach's playbook segment on that. If, there's some feedback from people that want to hear, when you are framing out the market you're looking at, what are you putting it down on this card, or what are you framing out? Because I think we've got some really good insight as to, certain levels, not so much, levels, but things like, previous day's high and low, current week high and low, previous week's high and low, any volume nodes potentially, just as a few examples of things that I used to always look at. So if you're interested in that, I think there's a lot of information we could give you there. And, probably give you more than you need, but if there's something you like, you could, pick up a little bit of what we used to do or currently still do.
Mick, that's a great idea. And anyone watching or now or later down the road, if there are any subjects that you'd like us to cover too, just drop it in a comment and we will happily break those things down.
Yeah. Or tell us what you like too. Maybe it's something we'd like to pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mick, I didn't mean to end it so early. Are we anything else that we want to discuss?
I think I'm good.
Great idea.
All right, we just lost John's audio.
Yep.
So we'll kick it over to JD to send us home.
Well, I want to say thanks again for inviting me to be here. I always enjoy sitting in with you guys for these little talks. So with that, I'll say good luck, everyone, and trade well. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.